Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Gaurika, Srila Prabhupada, and Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees, seeking the blessings so that we can share a few pastimes from Krishna Lila. We're continuing, we sort of dropped the Krishna Lila for a few sessions because we were looking at the holy places that we've been visiting. So today we very fortunate, we are in Haridwar, extraordinary place. Guru Maharaj loved this place very much. And he used to advise us that before we go to Vrindavan, we should always bathe in the Ganga at Haridwar. So we have this opportunity. Anyway, so chapters 21 to 23 we'll try to cover today if we can. And these chapters are the intimate relationships between Krishna and his girlfriends, the gopis. So, my dear friend, we cannot even think of his bamboo flute. What sort of pious activities did it execute so that it is now enjoying the nectar of the lips of Krishna? So this is the gopis. They are, of course, so close to Krishna. They love him so much. And he equally loves him, loves them so much. So the gopis, they're very humble. They asking the flute, what have you done in your past that you now can taste constantly the lips of Krishna? What sort of pious activities have you done? How is it possible that the flute, which is nothing but a bamboo rod, is always engaged in enjoying the nectar from Krishna's lips? Because the flute is engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, the mother and the father of the flute must be happy. So this is a wonderful narration by the gopis. They're glorifying the flute and his parents. Just one second. So the flute, how did it get such an exalted position? This is described by one of the Goswamis. I can't remember which one. One day Krishna came to the flute, to the bamboo tree, and said to the bamboo tree, I need your help. I need to use you. I need to cause you pain. But this causing you the pain will give the greatest joy to my devotees. Will you allow me? And the flute, the bamboo said to Krishna. Now remember, how can the bamboo talk, right? Everything in the spiritual world is alive. Even the innate things which don't have any movement, they're alive. The bamboos, sticks are alive. They can talk to communicate with Krishna. Krishna asks the bamboo tree, do you mind if I do this to you? And the bamboo tree replied, well, no, we don't mind. If there's no other way, if you have to do what you have to do, please go ahead, my Lord. We'll take it as a blessing, not as punishment. So then Krishna, he took the bamboo, made some holes in it, caused the bamboo some pain, transcendental pain. And because of that surrender of the bamboo, the position of the bamboo is that the flute from which the bamboo comes is always touching the lips of Krishna. So see how humble a bamboo tree, a bamboo stick is, yet it's achieved the highest position, always at the nectarian lips of the Supreme Lord. Mm-hmm. So our situation is like the bamboo. We're pretty useless. In fact, the bamboo is probably much more useful than we are. But if the Lord wants to use us for any particular purpose, and we give our consent and happily let the Lord to use our seva, if you like, we will be the most fortunate, even though we are so unqualified. We're not qualified to do anything. But the Lord can use us if He's kind enough, if He wishes to, and make us our lives successful. Not from a material point of view, but from a spiritual point of view. Okay, so that's the dressed in such an attractive way, Krishna filled up the holes of his flute with the nectar emanating from his lips. So the gopis remembered him entering the forest of Vrindavan, which is always glorified by the footprints of Krishna and his companions. Krishna was very expert in playing the flute, and the gopis were captivated by the sound vibration. When Govinda plays his flute, the peacocks immediately become mad. When all the animals and trees and plants, either on the top of Govardhan Hill or in the valley, see the dancing of the peacock, they all stand still and listen to the transcendental sound of the flute with great attention. So a lesson from this: playing flute is one of the items that distinguishes Krishna from Vishnu. So we often talk about the various qualities of different personalities. So within this world, we have Lord Brahma, who's said to have 50 qualities. Beyond Lord Brahma is Lord Shiva, who has 55 qualities. Beyond Lord Shiva is Lord Vishnu, who has 60 qualities. Of course, they have unlimited qualities. Shiva and Vishnu have unlimited qualities. We're just looking at the prominent ones, which are described by the 6 Goswamis. And then we have what distinguishes Krishna from Vishnu. Krishna has 4 more qualities, 64 in total. So 4 more qualities than even Lord Vishnu. And one of them is being able to play the flute in such a way that captivates the whole world. The other 3 are, I think, he has the most amazing devotees. He has super excellent pastime, very difficult to understand. What was the other one? There's one more. The greatest dancer, something like that. There's 4 things that distinguish Krishna even from Vishnu. So the flute is really takes a prominent part in Sukadeva Goswami's explanation to Parikshit Maharaj of the gopis' pastimes with Krishna. Krishna and Balaram, while tending the cows, appeared like actors going to play on a dramatic stage. Krishna was dressed in glowing garments of yellow, and Balaram in blue. So Krishna is dressed in yellow. It reminds that color. He always likes to dress in it. Why? Because he reminds him of Radharani, whose golden complexion is very similar to the clothes he wears. And Balaram, being the first expansion of Krishna, the servitor Lord, he wears colors which remind him of Krishna, blue. So This is the eternal relationship between them. While Krishna was engaged in tending the cows in the forests of Vrindavan or on Govardhan Hill, the gopis in the village were always absorbed of thinking of him, discussing his different pastimes. This is the perfect example of Krishna consciousness, to somehow or other remain always engrossed in thoughts of Krishna. So if we fill our lives with some sort of seva, some sort of service, and we'll hopefully never forget Krishna. We'll always be thinking of him in some capacity or other. Of course, the best way to remember Krishna is by chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is very direct way of remembering the Supreme Lord when we're chanting his holy names. And we make very fast spiritual progress because the dirt in the heart becomes cleansed. Of course, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of chanting, because when we're chanting, we may not be chanting in a very pure way. We're fully focused on Krishna. So it takes time. It'll take practice. It'll take effort, a lot of effort, in order to improve our quality of chanting, so that whenever we're chanting, we're actually with the Supreme Lord, having a one-to-one conversation with him. But other than chanting, there's so many different sevas. In fact, everything we do can be turned into a seva. We can dovetail everything into service for the Supreme Lord. Even going to work, we can think that this is my opportunity to do something which can benefit Krishna or the devotees of Krishna. So everything can be dovetailed into service to Krishna. Our whole life, every aspect of it. So when he was 7 years old and 1 month, this is when the Venu Gita Lila begins. When he plays the flute. Now, when he plays the flute, he can really captivate the devotees, especially the gopis. The unmarried girls used to pray with great devotion to Goddess Katyayani, addressing her as follows. O Supreme Eternal Energy of the Personality of Godhead, O Goddess, please be kind to us and arrange for our marriage with the son of Maharaj, Krishna. That actually happens, because I believe the kidnapping of the cowherd boys and the calves take place, and they're married off. So Krishna expands himself as the cowherd boys, and then there's the marriage that takes place between, in that 1 year, he expands himself as cowherd boys. In that 1 year, the marriage takes place between Krishna and the gopis. And Krishna is in the form of cowherd boys. So this is one of the secrets of Krishna Lila. So their desire is fulfilled. Krishna fulfills his desire. He marries them all. This is the Supreme Lord. The devotee has his desires, and the Lord will fulfill those desires. As Ramachandra, he would think twice. My devotee has desires, but can I fulfill them? No. He said to the sages of, what's that forest called? Danka. Which forest is that? Where the sages met him? Dandavakra or something like that. Where the Ramachandra met the sages. And the sages said, we want to have conjugal pastime. And Krishna said, Ram said, wait a minute. I've taken the vow of one wife in this life. But when I come as Krishna, I'll fulfill your desires. So now Krishna, not caring for what people will think of him, marries all of the gopis, or he has relationships with all the gopis. So he will not let anything get in the way of his fulfilling the desire of his devotees, even if it goes against the moral codes of society. He will accept the bad name. Yes, Krishna's like this, Krishna's like that. We often joke that Krishna's not straightforward. we do it, of course, in a loving way, because we love him. But many people will take these pastimes as immoral. Why does Krishna take so many? Why does he have a girlfriend? Why is he engaged with the wives of others, like that? Because he fulfills it. This is what distinguishes him from any other tattva. Distinguishes him from Vishnu, distinguishes him from Ram. This is the greatness of Krishna. So we have to understand this. We can understand this through the eyes of Bhagavatam, so that we don't get confused. We don't confuse ourselves, we don't confuse others as well. Oops. Okay. So, what happened? The Venu Gita. Oh, no, this is another pastime. 7 years, 2 months. So, we'll just go back. I think, Karuna, you may have sung this Venu Gita. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, wow. Maybe we can do that tomorrow. That'd be nice. If that's okay with you, of course.
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Krishna, along with his friends, appeared on the scene when the gopis were bathing in the river. Krishna could understand the desire of the gopis. Appearing on the scene, Krishna immediately collected all the garments of the gopis, climbed up into a nearby tree, and told the gopis to come and get their clothes. This is really confidential pastime. Remember, he's only 7 years old. 7 years. He's, if you look at modern society, at the age of 7, you're not going to have any, illicit thoughts. You're too young. So Krishna's thoughts are not illicit. They're pure. Because he's the Supreme Personality of God. How the Supreme Personality of God can have immoral thoughts? No. He's just fulfilling the desires of his devotees. He'll do it at any cost, including the cost of his own reputation. This is what distinguishes him from others. So in this pastime, he steals the clothes of the gopis. And he has such a wonderful interaction with the gopis. He's saying to them, all right, you want your clothes? Come and get them. You shouldn't be bathing in Yamuna river naked anyway. You always have something on, especially covering your private parts, even in the river. So he's teasing them, and they're telling him, no, you debauchee, you're a nasty piece of work. We're not complain about you. To Mother Yashoda. Of course, this is done in a very teasing way. They're teasing each other. They love each other. They're performing amazing pastimes with each other. So eventually, anyway, one by one, the gopis surrender, and they come before him, and he accepts their surrender. So, while passing through the forest of Vrindavan, on the bank of the Yamuna, Krishna sat down at a beautiful spot and allowed the cows to drink the cold and transparent water of the Yamuna. Things have changed, unfortunately. Yamuna, now the sort of industries have, way before Yamuna comes to Vrindavan, destroyed all of the water within the Yamuna. Now we're not even sure what comes down. I think the current government are trying to rejuvenate the holy rivers. It takes some doing after so many years of neglect and abuse. But we should understand the Yamuna is the Yamuna. Even just calling out the name Yamuna, the water may or may not be there, but even just calling out the name Yamuna is very auspicious. Very, very auspicious indeed. Being fatigued, the cowherd boys, Krishna and Balaram, also drank this water from the Yamuna. So this is a really phenomenal painting. Whoever did this, it's really amazing. Krishna is enjoying with the cowherd, the cows in the forest, chilling out with them. On one picnic, the Gopas were very hungry as they had not eaten breakfast. So they left especially early to go to the Yamuna or to the forest. So they hadn't eaten any breakfast or they hadn't brought any breakfast with them. Thus they approached Krishna, who advised them. They said to Krishna, "We're hungry." Anything they need, they always go to Krishna because they know Krishna's got the answers. Krishna advises them to go to the house of the Brahmins nearby. Now, these Brahmins, they were engaged in performing Vedic sacrifices. They were busy doing yajna. And the cowherd boys, they came there and they asked for some charity. And Krishna told them, ask us in the name of Balaram. They may not respect me so much because of my naughtiness, but they'll respect Balaram. Ask in the name of Balaram. The Gopas went, but the Brahmins didn't even speak to the boys. They just ignored them. We're doing yajna. We're performing Vedic sacrifices. We've invited the Supreme Lord to appear as Agni, and we are offering our oblations to the fire. Of course, they fail to understand that that very Lord has appeared to them in his original form as Krishna, asking for the sacrifices, asking for the food. So this is phenomenal. How the Brahmins neglected the seva of Krishna in favor of the Vedic sacrifices. The very person that the Vedic sacrifices are meant for, to please, was right in front of them, but they missed him. So Krishna said, so the point, the lesson to learn, don't get caught up in so many rituals that we forget the purpose of the rituals. Very, very important point in spiritual life. Sometimes we get involved in the arati must be 4 times to the feet, 2 times to the waist, 3 times to the head, and then 7 times all the way around, the ghee lamp. So sometimes we're focusing on the numbers and we forget why we're doing it. We forget the essence of why we're doing it. Forget to look at the Lord. We're counting numbers and forgetting to look at the Lord. So important that we always focus. So Krishna said to the boys, okay, because they came back disappointed, saying, hey, these guys didn't give us anything. We're still hungry. Krishna said, okay, don't worry. Go to the wives of the Brahmins. They're my devotees. They'll fulfill all our needs. So when the wives of the Brahmins heard about Krishna and Balaram, because Gopal said to them, Krishna and Balaram are here, they're hungry, they'd like some food. They were immediately ready to serve them. They did not have to be convinced of the importance of Krishna and Balaram. Immediately upon hearing their names, they became very anxious to see Krishna and Balaram being advanced by thinking of Krishna constantly. They were performing the greatest form of mystic meditation. All the wives then became very busily engaged in filling up different pots with nice foodstuffs. Due to the performance of the sacrifice, the various food was very palatable. After collecting a feast, they prepared to go to Krishna, their most beloved object. So Krishna said to them, thank you so much. Now you can go home. And the Brahman's wife said, no, we can't go home. We want to stay. Even if we go home, we're going to be berated by our husbands. But Krishna insisted, no, you can't stay. You have to go. You have to go back. And don't worry about your husbands. They'll realize their mistake. And of course, later the Brahmins realized they had made a terrible mistake by neglecting Krishna. Oh. So the lesson to learn from this is the greatest meditation is to think of Krishna. The Brahmins' wives are so fortunate. The Brahmins came to the wives and said, you are far more advanced than we are. Krishna, the object of the Vedic sacrifices, was in front of us. Or he was calling for us. We neglected him, but you served him. You are far more advanced than us. And this is usually the case. The female aspect of society is generally more devotionally inclined than the male, generally speaking. And they're very fortunate. They have this natural attraction to the Lord. Sri Govinda, the ever joyful personality of Godhead, revealed his transcendental pastimes, appearing just like an ordinary human being, and he enjoyed the food offered by the wives of the Brahmins. Wonderful. So we'll end there. Any questions, any comments, please? Anything devotees would like to know more or ask or give some realizations? Okay, let me stop there. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai.